So, we're still here with Mathew Hulbert for part 2 of the newspaper review. Thanks very much, Matthew. What's the next story?
No worries, thank you, John. Just a few more stories. This is from The Observer this past Sunday. Final curtain for Jimmy Savile, eccentric king of children's TV. I was very saddened to hear on Saturday that he'd passed away, albeit at a fairly, advanced age, aged 84. Because I'll always remember Jimmy Savile from Jim Will Fix It, of course.
Did you write?
Sorry?
Did you write?
I didn't think I did write, but
I did write myself, but I never got a response.
Oh, did he not fix it for you?
No, he did not. No.
Oh, that's a shame, John. But he did for many people, and he was definitely eccentric. But I think I'll always remember, the tracksuits and the gold jewellery. And some of his...
I think he single-handedly put sort of Stoke Mandeville on the map, didn't he? And sort of raising money for them and things like that. The things that he actually did. Very positive.
Oh, and his fundraising was absolutely fantastic. And I heard someone saying that despite the fact that he always had the cigar, that actually very, very rarely was seen smoking it. It was just like a part of his identity.
A prop, yeah.
But it's interesting, he never married, and it's got a quote from him... in The Observer. I was the youngest of 7. There was great excitement when they married. I wanted no part of it. So he was definitely, quite an eccentric figure, but I think he'll be greatly missed. Now, did you know, John, that we now have the 7 billionth person alive in the world?
Yes, I did hear in the week that we'd passed the 7 billion mark, which is a number that's almost too big to understand.
Well, it's absolutely unfathomable, and they do have a picture here in the Sun from the other day of the baby that might have been the 7 billionth one, but of course there's no way of knowing which one was actually the 7 billionth. Gosh, in one sense it means that many of us in many parts of the world are living longer. But gosh, it is going to put pressure on our public services all around the world, isn't it? I don't quite know. I don't even think political leaders, the likes of David Cameron and Barack Obama and others, have really considered what having that many people, and the numbers obviously growing day by day, alive in the world will mean. I am worried that we'll see greater inequalities for those parts of the world like Africa and Latin America that are already much more worse off than those of us living in the West. That those inequalities will grow.
Where do you stand on international development and the provision of aid to overseas to kind of match the Millennium Development Goals when we're suffering sort of economic restrictions ourselves?
Yeah, I think this government is right in saying that despite the economic downturn here, that it's important to still give international aid. But I also agree with the coalition's policy, which I think has only just recently come out being an operative word, which is they're saying that those countries currently receiving aid from Britain that are anti gay rights and that have a situation where homosexuality is illegal in their countries cannot be expecting to receive aid any longer from Britain. And I think that's the kind of ethical foreign policy that Robin Cook was talking about more than 10 years ago, in which Labour, I'd argue, never quite managed to quite put in place for whatever reason. And I'm glad that it's under this coalition government that is happening. As for the fact that we give aid to some countries which you might think are well enough off to not have to receive aid from us, I think you have to look at the circumstances as to where that money is actually going before making a decision on that.
So what's our final story? Is it a local one?
Our final story is a local one from this week's Hinkley Times, out on the day that we're recording this. Schools handed a cash windfall. It says schools in Hinkley and Bosworth will receive a £617,000 pupil premium this year to support children from disadvantaged backgrounds. Original plans showed an extra £430 per pupil, but this total means they have been boosted by an additional £100 million, meaning that every school in Hinkley and Bosworth, including my village of Barwell, will now get £488 for every child on free school meals. Now, this was very much a Lib Dem policy before the election, and thankfully it's something that the coalition took on. But whatever your political viewpoint, it's got to be good, hasn't it, that children who are from the poorest backgrounds and who are on free school meals are going to receive this help. And hopefully we'll see some of them rising to the top, because we do have a situation still in this country at the moment where those from the poorest families often through no fault of their own, not because of any lack of talent or any lack of desire, don't manage to get into the top jobs. So if this can help, then that can only be to the benefit, John.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the Gorge Ward Centre? How's things going there?
Certainly can, yes. I'm a member of staff at the Gorge Ward Centre. It's going really well. We're busier than ever. We celebrated our first birthday in August. Actually, we've been open a year in July, but we held our first birthday celebrations on the day of Barwell Carnival, which was just made it a great village day. So yeah, we're getting more and more groups in, more and more people in. So if you're in Barwell or anywhere near the surrounding area, come and see us. We're on Church Lane in Barwell. You can't miss us. We're a big, vast building, and we've got a sports hall. We've got meeting rooms. We've got other rooms. We've got our youth drop-in on a Monday night for 9 to 14-year-olds from 5:30 until 7. And you see me there through most of the week, so it'll be great to see you.
Mathew, thank you very much.
Thanks, John.